Hello again, ladies and gentlemen. Drake here with my daughter Shadow.
Hi. That probably looked terrible.
Boffin SS outfit there. Today, got something special. I was on the survivalist boards and the guys over there were asking a question about katanas, whether or not they could decapitate, dismember, disembowel, cut bodies in half, all of that good stuff. Well, I kind of got on there and stuck my foot in my mouth and said, you know, I have an actual antique katana, and you know, if they want, I could come out and test it and see what it can do. So I'm here with an old Japanese katana, folded steel, hand forged, and I'm going to put it through its tests and see exactly what this thing can do, and maybe we can answer the question of whether or not this weapon can actually cut off arms, cut off heads, and maybe cut bodies in half. So I'm going to do what I can to prove or disprove this. So let's get rolling. Sometimes a weapon isn't just a weapon. With all weapons, you know, it relies a lot on the user as to how effective it can be, and a katana is no different. Most of the katana's deadliness lays in the shape and design of the blade, which is usually a piece of hard steel with milder steel welded over top of it through a forging process. Now, the rest of this weapon's deadliness lays in how it's used. This is not a Western sword. This is not your broadsword. This is not your Crusader sword right here. This is not something you hack with like you're hacking firewood or clearing brush. No, there is an art to this. When attacking with a katana, and here's where the art of this sword comes into play, you score drawing cuts. As you sweep with the blade, your momentum actually carries the blade into the body even further. It's a slicing motion combined with the striking to create a really deep, deadly wound. The Japanese achieved near perfection in sword making with this weapon. So we're going to see exactly what it can cut through. So let's recreate the deadly power of the katana. Well, for the first test here, I don't know how apropos it is when it comes to testing it against human flesh and bone, but the dense styrofoam of my old enemy, the scarecrows here, they're made of this material that I guess you could say it's a little like trying to stab or cut through human flesh, so no. I just really wanted an excuse to finish this one off once and for all, so let's go ahead and do that. Ready?
Yep.
Alright. I think I removed half his head. Alright, let's move on to the next challenge. I know there's probably a lot of katana purists out there, maybe not, but saying, why don't you cut through wet tatami mats? Well, I don't have any wet tatami mats laying around anymore. In fact,
Anymore?
Yeah, I haven't really practiced with katanas and the Eastern style of sword fighting in a long time. But I do have some bamboo laying around, so I'm going to cut through a nice, about 3/4 inch diameter piece of dried, hard bamboo. So let's do that. Stand back, please. This might splinter and fragment. Safety first, always.
Jesus.
Here's your rock solid bamboo right here. If that does not emulate a small bone in the human body, I don't know what does. Will it cut through bone? Yeah, it will. Focus on the jug, please. See? It's half sword, half technique. The drawing cut sliced cleanly through a half-gallon jug of water. Once again, that was a lot less effort than I thought it would take. I gave it a little much I gave it a little bit more steam than it really needed. PVC pop. Take one. Snapped it where it was anchored, but it actually cut it up here too.
Where?
Try it again. Back off a sec. Alright. Keep filming. Keep filming.
That almost hit me.
You can actually see the clean cut here on it. Cut. Do it again. I call that a pretty nice cut. That's a pretty hard piece of wood too. Try it again. These branches came off of an apple tree, by the way. Apple tree may not be the hardest wood in the world, but it definitely isn't a soft wood. You ready?
Ready.
Right. Now look at this. The question posed was whether or not a katana could decapitate someone or slice through someone, including the bone. I think that's a pretty good indication that it can slice through dense tissues and organic tissues fairly well. Let's move on to the next test. Now, muscle and nerve fibers can be fairly dense and tough to cut through. If you've ever worked with a deer or any other large animal after killing it, you know that cutting through some of those tendons can be pretty tough. So I imagine cutting through a human neck and spine with a katana would be equally rough. So that's what we're going to test out using Cat 5 cable. This will cut through it. We know that it can cut through the largest tendons in the human body. Are we ready?
Ready.
Alright. That actually wasn't that hard. I didn't even need to go that hard, and it cut through it completely. That was really easy to do. That was scary easy. Now, at this point, I know what some of you are probably saying. Lieutenant Drake, you Section 8 fucking idiot, you're gonna ruin a perfectly good sword, right? Well, not really.
Ruin a perfectly good potato.
Yeah, I am. I've already hacked on wood, wire, various other substances. Think this sword would be dull by now? No, it's not.
Where did it even go?
Want to try it again? Flawless. Again? Let's make some potato soup.
It almost hit me, Dad.
Ready?
Yeah.
There you go. Think potatoes are a little tougher than human skin, huh? So, folks, you were asking if a katana could possibly slice through a human neck and decapitate someone, take off an arm, take off a leg, cut a body in half. This sword today is cut through some pretty rugged material, and I'm willing to go out on a limb and say, yeah, this sword will cut someone in half. In fact, let's go out on a limb right now. This sword will remove your head. Thanks for watching, everybody. Lieutenant Drake out.